In today's video, I'm going to soak off my acrylic nails and go from Believe You Can Blue to Queen of Pop Pink. Have you ever just got sick of having your nails so long that every single time you go to type, they get in the way, and I just want to type without errors for a while? So today I'm going to show you how I soak off my acrylic nails and give myself a manicure. And the first step is to remove all the nail polish. I'm using pure acetone. And the next step is to shorten the nails as much as possible using my electric file. And then I will use the electric file to file off the surface as much of the acrylic from the surface of the nails before I apply cotton and nail clips using acetone to soak off the remaining acrylic from the surface. I hope you pick up some tips and tricks today how to do your nails quickly without making too much of a mess. But it is always a super big mess when you do take off your acrylic nails, and I think that's what bugs me so much about the internet and tutorials is that people always skip the mess. They never show the actual process of what it takes to get from point A to point Z. So I'm going to show you in real time on one hand how I'm using the tool, and then on the other hand I'm going to speed it up in fast motion just to save a little bit of time. And I do end up putting out a clock so you can see how much time has actually passed in just a little bit. But I'm using my electric file and I'm using it on just very low, 10,000 RPMs. There's no need to turn it up super high. You need to be careful not to hurt yourself. And I do have my dust extractor mounted under my table, so all of this dust is getting pulled straight down under my hand rest. You can see the edge of it a little bit right there, and being pulled away from my breathing zone. When you do your opposite hand, you're going to hold the electric file in a little bit different position. You're going to hold it straight up and down and press your nail into it and pull toward your body. You're going to have more control this way. Now, using the ceramic bit, I'm going to file the density of the nail as much as possible, remove it from the surface of the nail, so when we go to soak off the nail using the acetone, it doesn't have very much product to soak into. The reason I'm using ceramic is because it creates less heat when going across the nail than carbide does. It also tends to last a little longer than carbide. I do use carbide bits for certain things, but my go-to is the ceramic bits. I've also been asked, are ceramic bits porous? No. They're called ceramic because they're white. The material that they're made out of is not made of clay. They are not porous. They are able to be 100% disinfected and sterilized. You can put them in an autoclave. If a ceramic bit had any kind of porosity, it would become stained from the wet disinfectant it was placed in. And there's all kinds of colors in the nail world of disinfectants. There's blue for barbicide and pink for leucocide and yellow for citricide. And if it had any kind of porosity after being soaked, it would pick up that color. But rest assured, these bits are not porous. When you see the little white patchy spots on the nail, that's a lifted spot. I did a terrible job doing my nails last time because I was in a hurry. I just whipped some acrylic on top to give myself a quick nail fill without doing all of the prep that I normally would do to make sure my nails were in good shape. You want to be careful not to touch the bit to your natural nail. when you see these little areas, you can file around them, and most of the time they'll pop off easily. But when you go to put the acetone with the cotton on top of the nail to soak the acrylic, it'll still get right underneath that lifted spot, so it comes off easily. If you need a little bit extra education for using an electric file, I do have an electric file course on my online nail academy, academy.themeticulousmanicurist.com. It'll teach you every single thing that you need to know about speed, pressure, resistance, and prevent injury. It's an excellent education platform where you can also get CEU credits. I haven't soaked my nails off in almost 2 years, so at this point I haven't stopped my machine and reversed the direction of the handpiece and wondering why I'm struggling here, and that is why. You need to reverse the direction of the handpiece so you have better control. So instead of pushing away from your body, you're going to sit the bit on the nail and pull toward your body. Determining the speed of your handpiece is somewhat of a personal preference, but it also depends on the safety for yourself and for your client. Our electric file is very powerful. It's 45 watts, so even on the absolute slowest speed, which is just level 1, it rotates at 53 times per second. So depending on how fast you're moving or how much pressure you're pushing down, it can create a lot of heat and go right through the product. And if you're too close to your natural nail, you can get yourself. So be very careful. You might have an electric file at home that's not as powerful. It might be a 25 watt machine and you might need to use it on a little bit higher speed to get as much product off. So you'll just have to play with it a little bit. But if you have a Meticulous Manicurist electric file, you'll only need to use it on level 1 or 2, depending on your preference. So our goal is always to reduce the mess as much as possible, and soaking your fingers in a bowl of acetone can be really messy. You'll get melted acrylic on all of your skin, and it's just really cold. It doesn't need to be in contact with your entire fingertips of your body. So using nail clips and cotton soaked in acetone works really, really well, and it holds the product of the acetone right on the surface of the acrylic to dissolve it, so you can remove it easily with the cuticle pusher. If you've gotten the acrylic thin enough, the acetone will work relatively quickly. When you remove fingers out of the bowl of acrylic and it's exposed to the air, the acrylic will start to harden right away. Using nail clips, you can do one finger at a time. And you'll see when I get to the second hand, I move one clip after I remove it and put it on the finger that I was just working on, just to save picking up and sitting down. When you're doing it on yourself, it's a little bit harder than when you're doing it on a client. And I don't know about you, but I'm impatient. So I like to start working right away. Remove the clip, pick up your cuticle pusher, scrape off the surface layer that has gotten soggy already, so then when you apply it back to the fingertip, it'll be able to penetrate lower and get the rest of the acrylic off. So I'm going to do that one finger at a time. The whole process of soaking off the acrylic, doing the manicure, and then repolishing my nails in real time took an hour and 15 minutes. I should have had the clock in the frame the entire time, and from now on, when I record, I will remember to do that. It helps when I put things in fast forward, so you know how much time has really lapsed, because there's so many video tutorials who will show you certain things, but really they've paused the video and worked on their nails for an hour, and I'm trying to teach you real life skills and situations so you know exactly what you are in store for when you start attempting to do your nails at home, because it's messy and you need to be prepared. So here I'm just putting a drop of cuticle oil on all of my nails to moisturize the nail plate from that acetone. It's very hard, very rough on your skin. And while that's soaking in, I'm going to use the 150 grit edge file to file the shape of my free edge. Now we're going to talk about filing back and forth for just a second. In nail school, you are taught to go from left to center and then from the right edge to the center, and that is to perfect your symmetry. There is a myth that if you file back and forth that it will make your nails split. It will not. They tell you to do that so you're careful, and so you're not pressing hard on the nail, you're not causing tension on the free edge, and you also do not want to tip the nail file under when you're filing the length of the nail, because you want all of the layers of the nail to be the same length. If you tip it under on a square nail, then the very bottom layer is going to be a little bit shorter and you could potentially chip your nails easier. When you're filing your nails at home, I want you to stare at your nail bed while you're applying the pressure to the free edge, and I want you to notice if the blood supply in the surface of your nail bed is changing colors. Is your nail going from pink to white? If that's happening, then you're putting too much pressure on the free edge and you need to go a little bit softer. Next, I'm going to apply some cuticle remover to the skin around my nail bed just to make sure that I remove any dried up, crusty, non-living skin so my nails look nice when I'm finished. We'll also be pushing back the skin on the surface of the nail with the angled side of the cuticle pusher, so when we go to polish our nails using regular nail polish, the nail polish stays on for a long time and it is not adhered to any skin on the surface of the nail. Cuticle remover starts to work very quickly. You can see how much time has passed on my phone. Now we're using the angled side of the cuticle pusher, and with gentle pressure, we're pressing down slightly and pushing back toward the cuticle area just to remove that skin that's stuck on the nail plate. Do not press hard onto your nail because there is a possibility you can peel layers of your nail right off. You want to be very gentle when doing this maneuver. This is our pink buffer board. You're going to smooth the surface of the nail and buff off any raggedy, rough edges. feeling with my other fingers. I'm going to make sure the surface of my nail is nice and smooth, because when I apply my nail polish, I want it to look smooth, not like there's a tiny bit of product still left on the nail, which you can leave a tiny bit of acrylic on the surface of your nail plate if it's nice and secure and you've thinned it down and it's blended into your natural nail. Because sometimes there's a chance that you may file the surface of the surrounding nail just trying to remove a little piece of acrylic that is so secured on the surface. So you can leave a little bit if it is secured and there's no lifted area around it. Next, I'm going to clean off the surface with some cotton and some acetone and see how much of my cotton sticks on the surface of my nail. That will help me determine if there's any raggedy rough edges or places on the free edge that need to get perfected. It's also going to soak off any little bits of acrylic that are still stuck on the surface of the nail. It is going to remove the oil that we applied to the surface of the nail, so that when we do polish, the nail polish won't chip. It's also going to show me, because it dehydrates the skin around the nail, what I need to nip off with my cuticle nippers. If I were doing this on a real client, I would have them go to the bathroom and wash their hands and use the nail brush to scrub away any debris that's stuck around and underneath the nails. But because I'm doing it on myself, I just brought a little bottle or a little bowl of water to my nail table so I could clean them off without having to get up and stop the video. I'm going to use acetone again to clean off the surface of the nail, and yes, sometimes this does dissolve little bits of acrylic that are still stuck on the nail. And when I get to my other hand, you'll see me use my ingrown sidewall cleaner to clean around a couple of the fingers to remove it from down into the sidewall. You're going to be tempted to pick up your nippers all the time to clean off little pieces of skin. It's best to wait until the very end where you can do all of the fingers all at once. And then after we clean off a little bit of the skin, I'm going to apply a little bit more oil and then let them soak for a few minutes before I finish doing the rest of the cleanup, because that skin has been exposed to acetone. It's very dry, it's very sticky, it can be gooey. You want to make sure that you get all of that off of the surface. I let the oil sit on the nails for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to take my nail brush and I'm going to scrub again really hard to get out all of those little bits. And this last part is just about cleaning off any little remnants of debris, of skin. My thumbnail had a little bit of acrylic still left on the nail, but it had a little lifted area right there where I'm removing now. And when the oil gets underneath there, it wasn't blended completely into the nail, and it would end up popping off. So I decided to soak it a little bit longer and file off the surface of that. So now we're just going to be perfecting the surface and prepping for the nail polish application. Working on your non-dominant hand is a little bit tricky with balance and with different tools, angle, pressure, speed. So be careful when you're trimming your cuticles so you don't accidentally nick yourself. Go slower than you would normally go and be very careful because you don't want any injury to your skin. I'll be using the Meticulous Manicurist brand base coat. It's called All About That Base. I'll be applying 2 coats. The polish dries very quickly, so it's very easy to apply. One coat right after the other coat. You don't have to sit and wait long periods of time for the nail polish to dry in between layers. We're going to be using Queen of Pop Pink for the color and our quick dry top coat for the top coat, and then finishing off with the Call Me Ma'am Mango Cuticle Oil. I hope you've learned some tips and tricks on how to soak your nails off at home. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. When I first post this, I hope to post it as a premiere video so I can answer your questions live. It is a Friday, and so today we'll be posting our pedicure video, but hopefully I can get this finished and uploaded so we can do a premiere on the nail channel today too. Let me know what you love about doing your nails at home, or what you love about going to the salon and getting your nails done. Tell me what your favorite color is. Tell me what needs you have that aren't getting met, and I can help you find resources and answers to get those needs met. I hope you guys subscribe today, and I'll see you next time. And I'm just going to have the rest of the video play finishing polishing. Subscribe today for more great nail tutorials.